Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. Today I'll be your judge, your jury, and your analyst. And I know I haven't posted a video in a really long time. Well, not really. Like 3 days isn't really that long. It's not like I left you guys for like 2 weeks without content. But anyways, the reason why I've been taking so long is because, one, my therapy job, there's a lot of things due at the end of the year. So I'm trying to catch up to that. And it really freaking sucks. And that's also why I haven't been streaming either. So if you're looking for both of those, I always say therapy comes first, so me being a therapist comes first. The world needs more clinicians. They need more mental health clinicians. They need more therapists. They need more of my career field. Y'all don't need another content creator. Well, I create content anyways because some of you guys still love me, but I still keep going because I love my community, I love you guys, and I hope you're all doing very, very well. Speaking of my mental health tip for the day, just to put it out there, again, make sure you look out for your friends. I'm a wrestling coach. Well, now I'm a wrestling coach again. So yes, King Charmanders is now a wrestling coach again. Now I teach kids how to fight, and I had a few tournaments, but some of them just have this kind of like, some of them are still trying to get their groove back. Coronavirus kind of made it to where they skipped like a year and a half, so they're trying to get back into that like fight mentality. So that's what happened to a few of them, or rather just like 2 of them. It was just like a warm up, and they're like, okay. And then like after like first 2 minutes, you just get shocked back into a fight. It's just like PvP in a sense, except you guys don't have to worry about cardio. You don't have to worry about someone manhandling you, knocking you out, submitting you, and at the same time, it's a video game. It's not a fight. But that's the thing. Take a deep breath, breathe. PvP is PvP. Win or lose, you are still alive the next day. And like I mentioned, it's not a fight. No one's trying to hurt you, so you should be good. But that's another thing. Keep your calm mind. Make sure everybody's okay. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and you look out for your friends and family. Anyways, I know I've let you hanging for quite a bit. This is my top 5 teams for the Holiday Cup. It took me a little bit of time just because of the fact that there's a lot of things that aren't really banned in here, like Altaria, etc. There's a lot of big meta picks that actually don't really matter too much because this cup's all about like fast charge move damage, and there's a lot of counter users, and of course Big Bird Altaria is running around. So this is my top 5 teams for the Holiday Cup. Without further ado, let's get started. So team number 1's Frostless, Vigoroth, and Mandibuzz. This utilizes the Frostless 2-shield strat, which is incredibly powerful for the Holiday Cup, or just any cup where Frostless has a 2-shield strat in general. Vigoroth is an incredibly powerful safe switch for the Holiday Cup. If you played it before, it's still really freaking good, and that hasn't changed this time around. And last of all, you have Mandibuzz in the back. So Mandibuzz can also function as a safe switch, but honestly, your main safe switch is Vigoroth. Mandibuzz is really here to just be a nuisance to the ghost type archetype because you do have Trev running around. You also have Sableye running around. There's a lot of different things out here as far as ghosts go that do a lot of damage. And Mandibuzz is pretty safe outside of the fact seeing electric types like Pachirisu, Magnezone, or Electivire, Shadow. If you're really that crazy and you want to play with freaking glass cannons from hell, yes, Electivire, Shadow Electivire is a lot of fun in this cup. As you see, lots of coverage, A for coverage, really great grades across the board. It's not really any singular mon that beats this entire team, as you see here, and of course Frost's 2-shield strat is really strong. Sometimes you have to switch out right away. For example, if you see a Talonflame, you need to switch out, but you can pressure it with Vigoroth and then realign with Frostless and Mandibuzz. Use that bulk or saves your shields with Frostless and just have Frostless sweep the entire team. As you see here, Frostless does lose some, like, it doesn't lose a lot of leads per se, but there's a lot of things that, even though Frostless takes neutral damage from Obstacle, for example, just because of the fact it has Night Slash, you have to be really careful. So you can choose to either sack Frostless in the lead or save it for shields. It's really up to you. Frostless is also weird because of the fact that if you see like things like Talonflame, etc., yes, you have to switch out right away, but if you can close out with a Talonflame down shields and some chip, you can KO it in the back, or if you have shield advantage. A Frostless with energy or shield advantage is very dangerous. That strategy still works here, and this team utilizes a bulky, well, Vigoroth is your main safe switch, but Mandibuzz, as you see here in the back, covers a lot of what Vigoroth and Frostless, or can beat whatever you don't, or can beat whatever Frostless is weak against, outside of Charmers. If you see a Charmer like Wigglytuff, Frostless and Vigoroth are there to take it out, and hopefully Mandibuzz in the back, outside of, like I mentioned, outside of seeing electric types, because you're using a Snarl Mandibuzz, hopefully it can close out. Mandibuzz can also take a lot of damage from things like, for example, if you see a Frostless, you can still take a decent amount of damage. You can take an Avalanche, one Avalanche, and then that's it. But Mandibuzz can give you that foul play down in victory, and again, this uses Snarl Mandibuzz instead of Air Slash. Really great team, did really well in practice. Mandibuzz can kind of get trapped by the electric type in the back, because if you see the Wild Charge user, or if you have a Wild Charge user in the back, it's going to suck a lot. But Mandibuzz does do great coverage against the Ghost type archetypes. And if you lose, for example, if they lose the lead against Frostless, then what they do is they're probably going to switch into their Vigoroth. You can stay in, break shields, or you could switch into Mandibuzz. It's really up to you. But Mandibuzz with Snarl can do a lot of work for you in the Holiday Cup. Alright, next up we got Graveler in the lead, Alolan Graveler, Frostless, and Altaria. So this is a team I actually used last season. It's still our last time Holiday Cup was around. It's still really freaking good just because of Alolan Graveler in the lead is able to break shields, or if you can Stone Edge through shields, you could do heavy damage. And then you have Frostless to safe out as your safe switch out, and then you have Altaria in the back. Not a lot of bulk, just because of the fact that if you have, well, when you put Frostless and Graveler together, they don't have a lot of bulk. Altaria is mainly here to tank all the damage. What usually happens is that if you get the fighter in the lead, you safe switch on a Frostless to break shields, and then you realign the fighter with Altaria, and hopefully Graveler in the back, or if Frostless is still alive, you can just like I mentioned, Frostless 2 shield strider with energy advantage is very strong in this cup. This team is basically designed to kill Altaria. You have Graveler and Frostless that can take out Altaria very handily. Again, be very careful though, because this team is a little squishy. Agrav in the lead is very powerful, one of the top leads in the Holiday Cup, but the problem is it's squishy, so they squish. Also, if you get something like a Diggersby in the lead, there's a reason why we have Frostless and Altaria in the back to cover Graveler's ground weakness. Most of the ground types, or if not most of all of them, will lose to Altaria. So that's why we have this double coverage against ground. Very powerful team. Lickitung XL can give you a hard time. You're going to have to Stone Edge through shields and then Rock Blast for the dub. Other than that, as you see, does really well against a lot of different combinations. The issue is if you get the mirror, like, you're going to have to try to beat it out. Or you could say switch in a Frostless and then try to realign. But as you see here, when you get the mirror, it kind of sucks because Frostless and Altaria can both fall to Alolan Graveler. So just keep that in mind. Again, you pretty generic team. You lose the lead with Graveler, you safe switch in the Frostless, and then you close and then realign with Altaria to take the damage, take those shields, and then hopefully shields with Alolan Graveler or Frostless will kick you the dub. This team has been really good for the past seasons. I haven't changed it. The last time Holiday Cup was around, did really well. And Agrav, if you like Agrav in the lead for the Holiday Cup, this team will do well for you as well. Or if you just have a team with Agrav, probably going to do just as well as the previous season, because nothing much has changed at all other than things like Trevenant, etc. coming into play. Despite the fact that's the case, it's still the old combinations you had from the previous Holiday Cup are still really strong. So don't fix what's not broken, or at least if you have an Agrav team that you liked from before, probably will work again for this season. Alright, so here is a team with Trevenant Safe Switch. This features Magnezone Shadow in the lead. Really great and powerful Mon in the Holiday Cup just because Wild Charge is beastly. Then you have Trev as your Safe Switch, Altaria to close out. So the thing about Trev and what's really interesting, yes, Vigoroth, like, resist your Shadow Claws, but you have a super convincing win against it in most scenarios, as you see here. Unless you're up 2 shields, you could take out a Vig pretty hard. Which is why Trevenant is kind of like the new Drifblim in a sense, because yeah, it's like the new Drifblim, because you resist Bulldoze, you also resist Body Slam. Very powerful team. Not a lot of bulk, just because when you put Magnezone and Trev together, again, two squishy Mons, even though you have Altaria in the back, it doesn't make up for that rating. So if you lose the lead, you safe switch into Trev and close out with Altaria and Magnezone. The only issue I have is Trev's safe switch is kind of dangerous, just because Sableye is still allowed in this cup. There's a lot of things that can kill off Trevenant. You'll see inside the weaknesses when I analyze this team. Unless you face super meta. As you see against meta, that's a lot of X's. So this team's very good against, well, it has 2 meta picks, but Magnezone Shadow's like meta, but like, you know, like I don't foresee a lot of you powering up a Shadow Magnezone just so that you could play in a Holiday Cup, unless you already have one built like I do. If you look at the weaknesses, there's no big weakness. This team actually has an obscenely low threat score. except when you look at Diggersby. So Diggersby versus Trev is not really the greatest matchup in the world. Here's what happens. As you see, Diggersby fire punches you to death. Now, here's what you can do. So you can, as you see here, like, they have to shield your seed bombs. They can't, like, they have to shield your seed bombs. Otherwise, it's gonna be, they can't, if you try to, watch, here's what happens. So if they no shield your, if you just go straight seed bomb and they no shield, but you have 2 shields, what happens is that Diggersby can actually lose this matchup because you can't eat seed bombs. So it can kind of play around it a bit. And then what happens here is that if they switch a Diggersby into you, what happens, you just realign with Altaria and then just farm down, because Altaria can resist both Fire Punch and Earthquake, or it will resist most of the ground type users. Unless it's Stun Fist, even though Discharge does neutral damage, it doesn't do a lot of damage. So you can farm down, play it out however you would like. So this team is very strong overall, very low threat score, does a lot of damage overall, and Shadow Magnezone is a beast. If you can, it pretty much functions like the Frostus 2 shield strat. If you have a Magnezone with 2 shields, if you can wipe out the ground type, which is what Trevenant and Altaria are for, then you can sweep with, you can possibly sweep with Magnezone in the back. Wild Charge users are very strong as closers in this cup. Outside of getting lined up to a ground type, and then you're just screwed because, you know, ground double resist electric, and then you're dead, and that's GG's. Alright, another Vigoroth safe switch team. Why King of Charmanders? Because you're going to see a lot of Viggy safe switch in the Holiday Cup. If you think you saw it a lot before, you're probably going to see it again, because most of you probably already have Vigoroth already built. So, you have Talonflame to break shields. Operates a lot like the 2 shield strat with Frostless, except you have a Flaming Chicken KFC Burb. I don't know. I like Churches. I don't know about KFC. If you like Jollibee, because I'm Filipino, I love freaking Jollibee. Jollibee is amazing. KFC's okay. And then you have like Church's Chicken. And then what else do you have that's a chicken joint? Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, people say it's overrated, but you can't deny their customer service is immaculate. Anyways, enough about food. We got Flaming Burb, we got the Gazelle, and then we have a pancake. Electric pancake. A for coverage, B's across the board. This team is pretty bulky, very, very balanced as far as stat-wise, and will do a lot of damage. As you see here, there's a lot of options you can do, just because there's nothing in this meta that resists both Brave Bird or Flame Charge. So there's a lot of interesting things you could do with Talonflame. You can choose to Bourbon switch out. There's a lot of madness you can do. Your biggest weaknesses are Trevenant and Coffergrigus. However, the thing about Talonflame is that if you're in the 2 shield, you can kind of just incinerate down Trevenant, so it's not bad. This is just the 1 shield scenario. Plus, it's very baity when it comes to Trevenant. Trevenant has to shield, must shield your Flame Charge, or it's going to suck a lot and it's going to burn. That's why this team has an incredibly low threat score. Also does a ton of pressure, has a lot of damage. If you lose the lead against Talonflame, you say switch into Vigoroth. Usually it's going to be against something like Altaria, but again, you can Brave Bird through shields and then switch out. Really up to you. Or if it's like a Lapras, a Dugong, you could switch out, switch to Vigoroth. Stunfisk can take care of Lapras and Dugong. If you have energy, mind you, Surf does super effective damage against you, but the Electric Pancake is pretty bulky, so you can eat a Surf or 2. Well, I think you can only really eat 1 with the chip, but 1 is better than none. Very strong team, as you see here. Coffergrigus isn't necessarily a bad matchup against Talonflame in the 2 shield either. You kind of have to be careful as the Coffergrigus user, just because those incinerates coming through can really suck. If you look at this matchup and it goes through, you can lose with 1 turn. So if you see a Coffergrigus, you're like, oh, if you get incinerate through, you're probably going to beat it. Or you have a chance of flipping this matchup here. So this is why Talonflame is one of the most powerful leads. It's tied with, I believe, what is it? It's tied with another lead for like number 1 at 100%, but it's undeniably a very powerful lead just because, like I mentioned, there's nothing that resists both Brave Bird and Flame Charge, and at the same time, there's a lot of plays you could do with Talonflame. Operates a lot like the Frostless 2 shield strat, and also burns down Frostless pretty dang well. You will melt the Ice Queen with the Talonflame, so you know what? Chick-fil-A's customer service might come through for you, and that shake will melt if it's a Frostless, just saying. Their shakes are pretty dang good, though. Chick-fil-A has some amazing shakes. I'm just saying. Alright, you guys are probably like, really, King of Charmanders? Well, for this team, as you see, you have Charm, Tails, Obstagoon, Safe Switch, and Altaria to close out. You're probably like, why? Why would Charm? Why? Because you're going to see Charm and Alolan... I actually saw a lot of Alolan Ninetales with Charm for the last Holiday Cup, just because outside of seeing Fire types, Alolan Ninetales goes to town with Charm 2 shield strats, so it's actually really freaking good. As you see here, this is mostly used to catch those Altaria leads, but Charm 2 shield, Charm 2 shield is pretty strong in this cup, so be careful. Also, the fact that with Charm, you can have a really strong match against Frostless just because you resist those Powder Snows, and Frostless has to ball out. Literal ball out, break Steph Curry's 3-point record, or, well, Steph Curry's about to break the 3-point record from Ray Allen, but you're basically going to have to shoot through the shields because, you know what I mean? Alolan Ninetales resists Avalanche, and Charm 2 shield is very powerful, like I mentioned. This team has this team's really weird. The reason why A9 is so safe is just because outside of seeing like a Talonflame or a Steel type, for example, Alolan Sandshrew, Alolan Sandslash, Magnezone, it can run through a lot of things with 2 shields. So, or if it's even like, for example, if Charizard's pretty squishy. So if you do play it, Charizard, it's very strange. Because you can take out a shield. Oh wait, let's swap it around here. So if you look at this, yes, you lose, but you come out of this with shield advantage, and the opponent has a bazillion energy. So depends if you want to throw or not. So it's really weird. Yeah, A9 is weird. That's basically what it is. But that doesn't deny that 2 shield is still very, very powerful. You can still see poison types in here, Golbat and Roserade and other things like Venusaur as well. But because of the existence of Talonflame and Frostless, you're probably not going to see too many of them running around. Or you could just use Whimsicott, but A9 does have a really solid moveset, and it does have Psyshock. So if you do catch, it has Psyshock and Weather Ball. So if you do see the Poison Grass type, you can ball it out or you can Psyshock down for victory. Charm 2 shield strats are really annoying, but that doesn't deny that I'm gonna put it in here. If you're that lazy and you want to run, if you're lazy and you want to run through your sets, here's a team that can do that pretty well for you. What happens is that you lose the lead against A9, you stay switching to Obstagoon. They're probably gonna throw their fighter into you, and then you can switch out with Altaria. You can put Altaria into it, farm it down, leave Alolan Ninetales with 2 shields, and hopefully Charm 2 shield strat works out and gets you the dub for that battle. And that's GG's. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I really appreciate your patience. I know you like happy holidays, but holidays aren't very busy. Well, holidays are really busy for me because I'm trying to do all this work and catch up with things. But once I do, I should be able to stream regularly again and get stuff done. Work is important. And the thing about insurance doesn't wait for you, basically. You know, the insurance world is very mean. America is very corrupt. I served with America. I should know a little bit, or if not more than the average human being that lives in the USA. So, that being said, I have a job to do, and I have to do my job well to make sure my clients are okay. And of course, I'm a wrestling coach, so I have to make sure my kids are okay too. So, doing a lot of work for the world, but at the same time, I do the best I can so I can deliver content to you guys, and so that you can get ready for the next seasons. There'll be a little bit of gaps in between videos, but until when the holidays rolls over and 2022 comes around, King of Charmanders will have regular videos on a daily basis again. There's a lot of work I have to do, so I appreciate your patience again. You guys have a wonderful weekend. I hope you're doing well and go Bally. Season 10 is a total wreck. There's a lot of lag. A lot of lag. I don't get why Niantic can just stop it. Just stop messing with the game and just Niantic sucks. That's it all. But anyways, I hope you guys are enjoying your battles. Or hopefully we pray that someday, it gets better. It's been 2 years though, so I don't really see it getting better, but just do your best. Do your best, practice, and hopefully, again, I hope for the rest of the season, just chill for Season 10. The Lysandra pose isn't that great, at least from what I see. If you really want it, go for it. Me, I'm kind of taking a chill pill. I'm just okay, I'm just gonna I do my battles, but it's just meh. You know what I mean? I don't put a lot of pressure on myself. It's just just go with the flow. Just do it. Actually, I don't put pressure on myself at all nowadays. If you lag, you lag. If you lose, you lose. If you win, you win. That's basically it for Go Battle League. Anyways, I do encourage you guys to do your best, and of course, just don't stress about it. Do me a huge favor, please like and subscribe. You see the little Charmanders, if you look to your bottom right, if you put your mouse over it, you can easily, the subtab pops up, and you can easily subscribe from over there. Really appreciate my current subscribers. Good luck on your Go Battle League sets. Happy holidays. It's coming soon, so I hope you guys are having time with your family, or those plans are being made. Good luck on your Go Battle League sets again, and I will see you guys on the next video. Charmander!